So now we've got our plans created. Again, think about expectations, work with your coaches in the State Department to see how many plans you need to create at one time. So once you have plans created, pretty much the hard work is done. You've assessed where you're at, you've created your plans, and now it's simply about monitoring implementation and deciding how you can sustain those efforts as you move through the school improvement process. So when we talk about monitoring, as long as the process manager has entered the plans and the tasks into the system, it's simply about meeting as a leadership team. You may still grab some more indicators to assess. You might have others to plan, but the ones that are planned for your job as a leadership team is to review the list of tasks that have been created for each objective, and then you're going to check the progress of each of those objectives. So if Jane was in charge of monitoring an objective or a plan, when she comes to that leadership team meeting, she should know how many of her tasks were completed. She's in charge of managing all those people who had tasks to complete under that objective. So Jane should, may come to the meeting with a checklist. She may be able to give you dates, any additional notes for all of those objectives that were completed. There may be someone on Jane's, as part of Jane's team who has a task and they say, you know what, Jane, I need another week. It's just like a target date for a plan. All you have to do is give them extended time. You go back into the creating the plan process. You set another target date. You just go in there and edit the information, and you can extend that goal as long as you need to. Okay? So once all the tasks for an objective have been completed, whether there's 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, the system will actually ask the team to, okay, now take a look at this objective. You created 5 tasks and all 5 tasks are completed. Is your objective now fully implemented? So again, this is a process, some conversations that have to happen where the leadership team, again, looks at the wise ways as a refresher. They look at all the tasks that they've created, look at what they wanted to be when they were fully implemented. So that plan they created, and decide, are we really at full implementation? We did all the things we thought were necessary. Have we reached full implementation? Is there evidence to back that up? Can we provide sustainability? Are we going to be able to sustain those efforts since we've got these tasks completed? Sometimes they realize that it is fully implemented. Sometimes they realize maybe it's not. Sometimes you will get to that point and you'll say, you know what, we're not quite there. It's actually no big deal. All you have to do is go back in and add some more tasks. You'll find out when you realize that it's not fully implemented, you realize there's 1 or 2 other things that you maybe want to add. So it's a simple process. You go back in and add more tasks and work through those tasks. If the team decided that it was fully implemented, so they created their 5 tasks, they completed 5 tasks, and they look at their plan and they say, you know what, we're exactly where we wanted to be. We have evidence to back it up. We can sustain our efforts. We've done a great job. So the first thing the team should do is celebrate. Every school leadership team should celebrate every single win they have. Every time you fully implement an indicator, whether it's from the beginning of the assessment process or through a plan and a series of tasks, you should celebrate that you have fully implemented this process and this effective practice in your school. And your coaches should be there to provide support and, kudos to you for getting those jobs done. So once you have, the celebration has died down a little bit, there's a couple things you have to do in the system. You have to describe the evidence of implementation. So describe what you really do right now that says it's fully implemented. You have to explain how you're going to sustain your efforts, so how you're going to keep this, practice sustained in your school, throughout time. And then also describe your experience. So if you guys, experience great things, if there's something you want to remember or something that you want to maybe look back on about your experience, you can add notes about that information in the monitoring process. If all the tasks have not been completed, or if all the tasks have been completed, but the leadership team says, you know what, we thought we were going to make it, but we're just not quite there. We just need a smidgen more. It's not a big deal. Like I said, there will be a pop-up on the page and you simply say, we're not quite there, and the system will direct you to just add more tasks. You can add 1 task or 3 tasks, whatever it's going to take to help you realize full implementation.